Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So I'm just going to hit you real quick with this. Good men actually avoid modern women. We're not going to waste too much time. I want to go ahead and let this play, and then we comment. Here we go. There is a bit of language, so please be aware of that if there are sensitive ears around. Here we go.
Listen, what? There's not a lot of good men who want y'all. There's a lot of good men out there where the good man at? Like they hiding under a rock or in a cave. They everywhere. They at the gas station. They at Costco. They at the bank. They walking right past you and you don't show up on their radar because of the way you are. They're going to walk right by you. Your pretty face ain't going to go too far because everybody's pretty. That's a prerequisite. So if that's all you got to offer, we're not looking at you. There's plenty of good men. They just don't want your ass. I ain't never heard no woman say, I know I ain't shit. She'll say, this man ain't shit. He ain't shit. He was bad. He was bad. But for the most part, every woman think they're a good woman. What makes you a good woman? Who's auditing that you're a good woman? You are auditing yourself. Why don't you ask your exes what they think? Because all your relationships diminished and ended in turmoil. That's a lie.
That's not a lie. And he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right, because there is rarely a woman that'll sit up and tell you that what her faults are, what was her issues in, if she has had a string of failed relationships, not just one or two, but if she's had a string of failed relationships, one after the other, none of her relationships go very far. They don't really end up anywhere. They're just sort of in limbo. It just sort of fizzles out. It just sort of whatever it does. If she's got a string of those, there are not too many women in this modern society that are going to admit that, you know what, it's me. There is, I did XYZ. They don't allow, like he said, the ex to audit it. They don't allow that. You are not experiencing you. You're not experiencing you as a romantic partner. The other person is experiencing you. So you don't get to tell that person that you're good to them, or that you're good in general, or that you're a good partner in general, if they don't perceive it that way. And especially if it's more than one or two people, especially if you're getting that feedback more than a few times from more than a few different people, and it's sort of the same kind of feedback, then that's a feedback that you need to pay attention to. And a lot of women have this idea that you've got to just accept whatever it is. And actually some of the comments kind of surprised me, because we know modern women, and we know that they like to uphold a lot of BS. But we've got one lady here say he's right, and y'all gonna call me a pick me, but it's true. The stuff that most women think makes them a good partner be basic stuff. There's 1,000 women out here who are pretty and they can cook, and that doesn't make you special, right? Because they lead with their accomplishments. I went to school, and I have this thing, and I got this money, and I got this type of job, and I got this type of thing, and I bought a house. There was a posting that was talking about more single women have homes than more single men. And y'all think that type of stuff is a flex, but it's actually stupid. And I'm going to tell you why that's stupid. Because as a single woman, what you buy a house for? If you get married, you think that man want to move into a house that's only got your name on the deed, so that when y'all get mad, you can just kick him out? See, men know that if they're single and they have maybe debt or something like that, bad debt, getting a house is nothing more than debt again. It may not be the worst debt you can have, but it's actually debt. Especially if they are not looking forward to a family. The purpose of the home is usually for family, right? Because it doesn't really make sense to buy something that can't grow with you, right? So like you wouldn't, if you were smart, you wouldn't buy a home with one bed, one bath, right? You could just rent an apartment for that. Usually you get a multi-bedroom, multi-bathroom home because you're anticipating a family and possibly the expansion of that family to some degree. Now, there's a such thing as starter homes and blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, you women are not really going to get married. So you bought a home to do what? You're not going to have a family in it. You just bought a home to say you were a home owner. These are not good financial decisions because your home is not the asset you think it is. In point of fact, and people are going to argue with me about this, it's a liability, especially the one you live in. If you buy rental property that you rent out, you buy a home and you rent it out, that's going to make money for you. That becomes an asset. The home you live in, though, is not necessarily an asset. This is a liability to you. Anything that take money out of your pocket is a liability, and things that add money to you is an asset. So the first home that you buy is usually the home you live in, and that's not going to be a financial asset to you. I don't care what a bank lender tells you. Because if anything happens with that home, that's money out of your pocket, not into it. Right? You're going to have to pay it off. Most people don't have the type of money that it takes to purchase a house cash in full. Most people are going to take some type of loan. Most people are going to pay a mortgage. All of these different things. Y'all think this stuff is a flex. Meanwhile, you sit there and talk about where are the good men. They are all around, just like this man said. These men are not hiding. They're avoiding you because of who you are. They're there, but they hear you talk about he can only make a certain amount of money to talk to you, and he's got to hit your Cash App, and you're not interested in going into dates to get to know them. You're more interested in the prostitution transactional part of it, where he spends a certain dollar amount on you and he invests early on monetarily into you with the expectation that you're just going to walk off once you find that he's lame or that you don't like him and all of this other type of stuff. And he's just supposed to understand that, and he's supposed to accept that. The problem is that these men hear you talk this nonsense, and the reality is y'all be running around here talking about taking a podcast mic away from the men, but y'all need one taken away from y'all too. Because y'all get up here and talk this nonsense about what a man can and can't do for you. Meanwhile, in your regular life, you be struggling and desperate and straining for any kind of man, want a man to pay you any type of attention. And the reality is you will take that Starbucks date. The reality is Cheesecake Factory is a step up for you. The reality is you like the appetizers at Applebee's. The reality is all of these things. You get on social media and you listen to this sprinkle stuff, and then try to get on there, get on social media and talk about what you're not going to accept. When you accept everything you swear to God you're not going to accept, you accept all of that. You pine for it. You crave it. You hope a man thinks enough of you to take you and get you whatever you want at Starbucks. Stop playing. You want a man to give you their undivided attention. For all that cap you do on social media, you do want him to take you to the beachfront and hold hands with you and let everybody know that he's interested in you and that you're his woman. Stop the cap. These good men are all around, but they hear the nonsense. They let you talk that nonsense, and then they move accordingly and let you stand on business, is what y'all say, right? Y'all want to stand on business, so stand on it. But stand on it by yourself. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.